Welcome to Ame Reads. Today, a little bit late, I am reading for you The Fate of the Troublemaker, a Han folk tale that is collected in the set of Chinese folk tales by Louise and Yuan C. Kuo. Long, long ago in what is now China, the tribespeople worshipped thunder, lightning, fire, wind, or rain, and all animals and birds. They believed that each had a spirit that was related to people. Every clan chose a particular natural element, an animal or a bird as a namesake, and the entire tribe bore the name that stood as its emblem and protector. These beliefs and practices are rendered in Chinese as tuteng, meaning totem. Totem had religious significance. Related to this totemic practice was the custom of assigning an animal as the ruler of the year. There was a belief that the spirit of one animal controlled each person the year he was born. There were 12 animals designated the months of the year, and each had a special significance. Initially, these animals showed a close affinity with the astrological symbolism of the Sumerians and the Hebrews, but in the course of time, the animals and symbolic meanings changed considerably. When people were hunters, activities took place in the autumn, and festivals marked the new year after the hunt. The cock was then the symbol. When hunting was displaced by farming, the year began at the vernal equinox, and the ox or buffalo, according to the region, became a symbol and chief of the animals. Finally, legend relates that all the animals of the forest met to decide who was to be the leader, and the mouse was unanimously chosen because of its superior wisdom. The mouse has remained the first animal in the lunar cycle of 12 animals, followed by the buffalo or ox, then the tiger, rabbit, heavenly dragon, snake, horse, ram, monkey, cock, dog, and lastly the pig. At no time was the fox included in the group of creatures. It has always been regarded as a supernatural creature that could change itself into a human being, generally a beautiful woman, who caused misery or unhappiness to the person she became attached to. Its spirit was evil, and the fox symbolized a schemer, a troublemaker, as in this folk tale. Among the high mountains, swift rivers, and dense forests in Guangxi province, there once lived an old tigress with her cub. Because of her age, she was almost incapable of going to hunt. But luckily one day a herd of buffaloes came near her cave, and an old mother buffalo was trailing behind with her little one. "At last, a chance to have a banquet," the old tigress purred as she attacked the buffalo, who was far too old to run away. Not having eaten for many days, the hungry tigress devoured the buffalo almost whole, stuffing herself until she could not even stand up. Afterward, the tigress rolled in agony, but before she finally died, she mumbled to her little one, "This is my end. After my death, you must be a good friend to the little buffalo. Never fight over food or be greedy, and always protect each other. Remember." The little tiger obeyed his mother's wishes and treated the young buffalo very well, guarding her at all times. They lived together, played and slept together just as though they were of the same family. No other tiger ever bothered the little buffalo because she was the cub's friend. At the same time, no other buffalo ever dared approach her because she was with the tiger. She became so accustomed to living with the tiger that she never even thought of herself as a buffalo. "They are such good friends," a jealous fox observed one day. "I must separate them no matter how good they are to each other. After all, a tiger and a buffalo can't live together forever." So one day when the little tiger was eating some deer's meat, the cunning fox approached and said respectfully, "Oh, Tiger King, I can see that your precious life will be threatened soon by a calamity. Your good friend, the little buffalo, is scheming to kill you to avenge her mother's death. You must be very careful." The little tiger simply could not believe the fox and kept thinking, "We've been together since babyhood and always good friends. However, since the fox said so, let me ask him what made him say this." Thereupon he asked the fox, "How do you know it will happen?" "King Tiger," the fox replied, "if you don't believe me, I can prove it. Just go ahead and find the buffalo, If you see her with her head lowered, her horns pointing towards you, her tail flapping under her belly and snorting, these are the signals that she intends to kill you. Don't hesitate to pounce on her and bite her to death." After hearing this, the cub was actually convinced. At the same time, the fox ran to the little buffalo and said, "Oh, you poor little buffalo. I know the tiger is going to kill you. Are you going to be content with the same fate as your mother?" The little buffalo was scared by these ill tidings and asked the fox what to do. "When the tiger comes near you," the cunning fox replied, "lower your head, point your horns toward him, flap your tail on your belly and snort. Prepare to charge in order to defend yourself." Truly, just as the fox had planned, one day this happened. Without an exchange of a single word, both engaged in a serious fight. Once good old friends, now became implacable enemies. The tiger sprang on the buffalo's back to bite her neck, and the buffalo used her horns to pierce the tiger's belly. They rolled on the ground, sprang up again, then rolled again, and fought on and on. Both of them were critically wounded in the deadly struggle. Meanwhile, the fox had a ringside seat and was enjoying himself, laughing and joking. "You two have such super strength," he laughed, "but compared to my cleverness, you are childish." Finally, the poor tiger flopped down and died. The buffalo, too, was bleeding to death. She gave a last kick with her hind legs, and as she did, her hoofs struck a sharp rock. The force sent it flying and hit the fox right on his head. Before he could chatter any more, he dropped down flat on the ground, never to stir again. And that was the fate of the Troublemaker, a Han folktale. What does this folktale teach us? Does it teach us not to stir up fights, not to poke our noses where they don't belong? Does it teach us not to gloat? Does it teach us to delve deeper into events that do not sound or seem correct, to do more research, and perhaps to actually speak to the person we're told hates us? What do you pull from this tale? I would love to hear it. All you have to do is write in the comments down below. This recording is intended to be archived on my YouTube channel for the Trottsdale Library. It will not, therefore, be going up on my podcast. Before I close, I do have a few announcements to make. Very recently, the book project that I have been narrating for D.L. Gardner, her The Ian's Realm Saga trilogy, parts 1 through 3, has had part 1 go up live for the audiobook, available only on her Gumroad's store. I will provide the link in the description down below. Also, the print edition for Volume 2, Mythical Minstrelsy, my collection of poems, short stories, and art that is inspired by mythology and folklore, has gone live and available for purchase on Amazon, joining the ebook version of the volume. Volume 3 is expected to be going live in print within the next week or two. I have to have time to look over the proof once it arrives. And that will be joining the ebook edition of Volume 3. All 3 volumes are also available to purchase in ebook on Smashwords, as well as Barnes & Noble, and several other outlets. The cat book for children that I have most recently illustrated for is not available for purchase yet, but I will be letting people know when that tale is ready. Until next time, I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi, and this has been Ame Reads. Happy reading.